we are getting tantalizingly close to the end of the game. These 3 stages house the last of the Order of No Quarter, so you can imagine they're going to be pretty tough. Now with that being said, with the map reveal came a couple of new friends standing in our way, and I'd really like to take care of them first. I put off the last Wandering Travelers for a while. I don't want that to be the case here. That being said, I don't exactly have a choice. You can see this guy is once again standing in the way. This bonus level isn't really going to bring anything new to the table, but it does combine a couple of old things in interesting ways. Obviously we have Spectre Knight's darkness mechanic going on here, but what I really get a kick out of is how the fire slimes don't get hidden when the lights go out. I mean, yeah, that totally makes sense. It's just not something I'd really thought of. Like when I was playing through Spectre Knight's stage, I never thought, oh, what if an enemy is on fire? What then? It's fun to combine things like that in this way. Beyond that, this level is mostly just the annoyance of darkness kicked up a notch. There's less backgrounds usable for you to get your bearings. It's easy for you to knock gold down into holes that you didn't know was there. Thankfully, it's not a very long stage, so we'll be out of here pretty soon. The only thing that's really going to delay me is that I can't really see where I'm going. Now this tough customer is actually pretty rough, mostly due to how many pits are around, so I'm just gonna peace out and leave him be. So you may have noticed that this other knight wandering the map is actually very familiar. Let's go take a look at what Black Knight has been up to these days. Black Knight is largely the same as his first fight, but with a few minor touches. For one, I really like that he just immediately jumped over the drop spark I sent his way. It's a nice little attention to detail that I can't just jump on him from across the screen with free range attacks. He'll just jump over it. His pogo attack also now has variable length. Sometimes he practically won't move at all between jumps, and sometimes he can fly across nearly the entire stage. It can be pretty daunting. Now he does have that new attack, where he uses his shovel for its intended purpose and digs up dirt at us, but much like Plague Knight's bombs, we can hit some of it back at him. He still has his Shadow Bolt attack, which we'll be using again shortly, but with another new touch. We can get into a pretty close back and forth about whoever can deflect it the most. It's pretty fun. One last thing that I really like about this game in general that I haven't really brought up at any point throughout it is that a lot of the time you're in an outdoor environment, you can see the Tower of Fate in the background. It's not quite as powerful a symbol as the Moon in Majora's Mask or Helios in Borderlands 2 because those are really threatening to destroy the planet, but I like it as a constant reminder of what your goal is. Seek out the tower and defeat the Enchantress. But in order to do that, you must first take care of those who would get in our way. Alright, the valley is safe once more. Now I'm still not equipped to go handle this bonus level on the right over there, but there is a relatively quick little side area over here to the left. The Hall of Champions. Look out, boys and girls, we've been locked inside a haunted manor. Those who are faint of heart should probably look away. We're going to be dealing with a lot of spooky ghosts. So this place is super haunted. It is roaming with ghosts, and in order for us to complete this stage, we need to kill all of them, which is kind of tricky, seeing as they are invincible and we can't do any damage to them. So what do? Well, in this stage only, there's actually these balls of light that if you manage to hit it and a ghost is nearby, they will be killed. Ghosts don't like light. I think that's more appropriate for vampires, but as far as this game is concerned, ghosts as well. And once we've cleared all the ghosts out of an area, the whole place lights up to know that we have killed all of the ghosts in this section of the stage. The stage isn't going to be very long. There's only about 8 screens total, only 4 of them having these ghost areas. You may notice that there are a lot of pictures in the background here, and no 2 of them are the same. So why is this background so weirdly detailed compared to the other stages? Well, these people are actually all Kickstarter backers. I forget how much you had to pledge. I could probably look it up, but I didn't, and I apologize. But there was a certain tier that if you donated at, you could get your face in the game, and this is where they all went. Now, I haven't really talked about it, but I actually also kickstarted this game. Well, I backed it. I was not part of the Kickstarter creation process. I think backer is the official term. I did not kickstart the game, I backed it. Anyway, yes, I backed this game. In retrospect, this is going to sound silly, I probably should not have. I know that sounds extremely stupid, considering I've gone on record in the start of this whole LP saying that this is one of my favorite games of all time, but I promise this has nothing to do with the quality of the game. See, I had never backed anything before this. I want to say the Double Fine Adventure Kickstarter had just come and gone. It made really big news, and some other really big games on Kickstarter were making splashes. I want to say that was the case. I forget exactly what time frame the Kickstarter for this game started, but I was really itching to be a part of something like that. It all seemed super cool and groundbreaking. Shovel Knight, groundbreaking, digging, groundbreaking, Shovel Knight. Anyway, someone at some point linked me to Shovel Knight. I forget how I found out about it. I forget who linked me or whatever. I don't really remember watching the pitch video. I didn't know who Yacht Club Games were. I didn't know they were largely X-Way Forward employees either. And even if I had at that point, I don't even think I knew who Way Forward was, so that wouldn't have meant anything to me. I don't even really remember reading much of the Kickstarter page. I think the most I really read about it is that they were very close to hitting a stretch goal, and I really wanted to be a part of something like that. So why would I back something that I didn't really know anything about? The truth is, I saw that it was a pixel platformer, and I thought the idea of a shovel as a weapon was funny. So I gave them my credit card information. I probably shouldn't be trusted with money, and I probably should not have backed this game, but I did, and I lucked out. So I absolutely do not regret it. Here we have the only real gimmick boss fight of the entire game, the Big Creep. That's actually its name, the Big Creep. It's big and it's creepy, so I guess that's appropriate. Much like the regular ghosts, the only way we can damage this is with the light orbs, so this fight can be pretty tricky. The Big Creep likes to spend most of its time either very high up or flying very fast, so it can be real tough to time exactly when you need to hit the orbs to damage it with the light. So whenever possible, I like to use the pogo attacks on the orbs because that makes the light come out a lot earlier. It's just easier to time that way, in my opinion. Now as the fight goes on, it does get a bit harder. As you saw, he spawned several smaller ghosts, but I made pretty short work of them. He also spawned those 2 green skulls that will constantly drop other skulls on top of me. None of these skulls can be destroyed, so it's just another obstacle I need to avoid. Overall, this boss isn't particularly hard, but it can be time-consuming if you don't get lucky with your timing. 50 frickin' gold. Wow, what a cheapskate.